whenever we take medication, these medicines actually pass through our entire body, become part of our bloodstream, and reach each and every part of our body. And whatever is not required is thrown out of our body through our lymphatic system and through our skin and all. And a part of it actually goes and blocks the hair follicles because they're not necessary for us. Maybe we take a bit of extra medication. It's not possible to measure each and every dose and give it. So those medicines which are not, uh, that's good, we are alive now at last. So those medicines which are not required by a body, but they are very strong, it was needed to heal the body at that time when we had a medical emergency. But later, the same medicine is not needed for a healed body. Then those things, they go and block the follicles. And when they block the follicles, as I told you earlier, the follicles, when they are blocked, then they cannot give proper nutrition to the hair. And what is important, the hair can only grow either in length or in volume or in thickness, the structural integrity of the hair. That means the thickness, how strong. If I pull my hair, I can see that nothing comes out. If I pull my hair, nothing is coming out. I don't have hair on my hand. That means it's stuck well to the follicles. They won't come out. Some people say the moment I comb my hair, I see the entire floor getting full of hair. That means the hair is not stuck properly to the roots, the follicles. So it is because of medication this happens. So first thing we need to do is cleanse the hair follicles. And this cleansing, initially, when you say for do-it-yourself DIY method, it becomes a bit difficult. Why? I'll tell you that most of the medication nowadays we take are very strong. And it's not easy to get the benefits with one herb. It has to be quite a few herbs mixed in a proper manner to cleanse the scalp of the residual chemicals, the synthetic chemicals that is there. When I talk of chemicals, why I use the word synthetic chemicals is when you are using a fruit or a herb or something, that is also a chemical, but it's a natural chemical. It's a chemical that is produced by nature because everything, even our body, is chemical. It's made of chemicals, nothing else. Even our emotions are chemicals, all our hormones are chemicals. So this synthetic chemicals, it becomes a bit difficult for the body to just remove it. And if you just use it at, if you just try doing it at one go in the house, it will be a bit difficult. But what you can try is cleansing the scalp with a scalp mask. That is the reason, because I personally had suffered the same thing. I had lost my hair. I did not have hair. So the first thing we introduced was, the concept was very new for Mrilq. Nobody had used it. We had the scalp conditioning mask. If you go to Mrilq site, you will see there are two scalp conditioning masks, the Root Basic and Root Logic. One is for controlling the infection, the other is for hair growth. So it is very important to remove the infection from the scalp. For that, you can use any good scrub material, like you can use rice as a base scrub. You can use chana dal besan as a base scrub and mix herbs like neem. You can use rosemary. You can use, yesterday I was talking about marigold. You can use marigold. You can use grass. If you get, not the grass that you get everywhere, like we use a lot of small grasses which have three prongs like this. They're called durba grass, the durba. It's a different type of grass, and you'll see that whenever the dogs they start coughing, they have a problem. Usually the dogs never eat grass, but that is the time they'll go and eat that grass. So those are the grass which has a lot of natural chemicals which heals the body. And grass is extremely good for hair, especially for cleansing, I mean, for follicular infection. Grass is good, mint is good. So all these herbs you can use: rosemary, neem, mint, marigold, grass, and then you can use shikakai. But shikakai, use it in very little quantity because shikakai is extremely drying. It alters the pH of the scalp unless you know the amount that is to be used. So these are good for cleansing the scalp, detoxing it, but it has to be done at least twice a week. And when you do it twice a week, apply it on your scalp, keep it for about 1 hour, and then wash off with water. Do not, whenever you are using the herbs, do not shampoo on the same day. Because actually the basic thing is it takes about 6 to 8 hours for a body to absorb all the herbs, I mean, that you give to your hair or for your face and all. And when you wash it off with water after 1 hour, I'll tell you why you should wash it off with water after 1 hour and do not keep it for 2, 3 hours. Just Deepa, if I forget, just remind me. It's important that you apply it, keep it for about 1, 1.5 hours, the scalp mask. No need to apply on the hair, just apply the scalp mask on the scalp. Keep it for about 1, 1.5 hours and then wash off with water. And you can shampoo only the next day. You can apply oil at night and shampoo the very next day or after maybe a day. Why it is important not to shampoo is that once you wash it off with water, I mean, the herbs which are on the topmost part, they get washed off. But as I told you yesterday, that the skin is a highly absorbent organ. It absorbs everything. Anything bad is there, it will absorb. Anything good is there, it's going to absorb that. So it will naturally absorb the goodness of the herbs. And especially if you have, I mean, if you have follicular infection and all, the moment you apply, you will see you'll find a lot of itching on your scalp because the skin immediately starts absorbing it. And it will stay there for some time. When you wash off with water, the herbs will still be there on the topmost part of the epidermis, on the topmost part of the scalp. So let it be absorbed one by one, give it some time. And when you apply the oil, it actually forms a protective covering. So it is important that you apply oil at night. Oil is one of not only a very good conditioner and moisturizer, as I told you yesterday that our skin is covered by a layer of oil, the sebum. Similarly, our scalp is also covered by the same oil called the sebum. And the sebum is for keeping it moist, it's oily for protection, as well as it does not let anything from outside go inside. So when you apply the oil and massage it, the sebum production would be more. The hair would absorb all the herbs in a better manner. And then when you shampoo off the next day, then you are actually taking off all the infection from your scalp. So those who have COVID or any other medical problem have taken a lot of medicine and have lost their hair. Trust me, you will get back your hair even at the age of 45, 50, 60 if you follow the regime. Keep your scalp clean, you will get back your hair. The conception that hair does not come after a certain age is wrong. It will come to anybody and everybody, provided your scalp is absolutely clean and the pH is balanced. It will happen. The follicles are open. Only thing for people whose follicles are closed, they cannot happen. That happens to a very few people. If you go on massaging well in a particular manner, And if you go on cleansing your scalp, the hair will come for sure. But you have to be patient enough to do it. And it's not going to happen in one day. You have to give it about 6 to 8 months time to do it. Not like chemicals, in one day you get your hair and one day it goes off. Naturally, when it comes, it will take some time to come and it will stay back because it is your natural body's response to the herbs. So it will stay for a very, very long time and it will go on becoming better and better every day. So, did I miss out on any of it? Lakshmi, have I answered?
Sorry, nothing, ma'am. It's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And next question. Can you give some practical recommendations for all healthcare workers since they follow hectic hospital schedule? What are some quick and easy hair care tips?
Okay. See, especially for the frontline workers now, especially the doctors or those who are there on the front line. I mean, whether we talk of the airline industry, or we talk of the transport industry, or we talk of the logistic industry, these are the people like we cannot imagine being locked down and the Amazon or the online delivery is not being there. I mean, we'll be lost. We are not going out, but every day the delivery is coming to your home because the online services are there. Somebody is coming forward to actually help you get those materials. They're risking everything and coming. Of course, they're doing it for money, but imagine if those people are not there. We would be totally locked down. We would actually die. It will be very challenging for us. So, and these are the people who are like God for us now at this moment. So, first of all, we should start by thanking them that because of them, we are able to lead more or less a normal life because of their services. And these are the people. See, the first thing is that it's very important. They say that those who are in the front line, they should keep their hair tied up. For ladies, it's like tied up in a tight bun so that the hair does not come out. And for men, it's of course, most of them have short hair and they wear a cap. The reason being two things. The hair is actually, you have seen that hair as a very good static electricity. The simplest thing you can do is comb your hair with a plastic comb or something like that. And then they just put some pieces of paper, comb your hair well, and bring it near the pieces of paper. You'll see immediately it will attract all those pieces of paper. Similarly, our hair can attract a lot of things. So because of static electricity, it has this property of attracting things. Okay. So we should not keep our hair open, especially during this time of pandemic. Okay, number one. Secondly, what happens when the hair is open and it tends to fall on our face. And if it falls on our face, we'll have a tendency to just put it back like this. That means you are touching your skin. And I go on repeating the same thing, the skin is highly absorbent. That means you are giving quite a few bacteria who love to be on your skin, healthy skin. So you give it to them and they love your skin, they'll start staying there, which should not be done. Okay? So it is very important that we keep our hair tied up. But the challenge is when you keep it covered for a very long time, especially in a country like India where it is very, very hot. Now summers are there. The scalp um, I mean, you find a lot of moisture. It starts sweating a lot. So the most important thing is that when you go back home, two things you need to follow is first, wash your hair. Whether you are a man or a woman, a lady with a long hair, or somebody with short hair, please make it mandatory that you shampoo your hair using a mild shampoo. It is very, very important. First, why? Because what happens when it starts sweating, sweat is not only water, it has a lot of minerals. and those minerals will get deposited on your hair follicles. And the moment they get deposited, again, you'll start getting small eruptions, or you will see a lot of hair fall. You'll see that most of the time during the rainy season, most of us have a lot of hair fall. It's because of the moisture in the air. It loosens up the hair follicles. There's a lot of moisture, there's a lot of humidity in the air, so it loosens up the hair follicles. So it is very important that we keep it clean, because once we shampoo it, well, it it actually all the dissolved minerals that we have on the scalp, or the residual, whatever is there, the water and unwanted water, the sweat, they'll all come out. And many people say that we should not shampoo our hair every day. Okay, that's a common thing, that if you shampoo your hair every day, um, you'll start losing your hair more. Okay, I'll say that it's partly correct and it's partly wrong, because I, for myself, I shampoo my hair every day. Okay, because for people who wear helmets, people who are into sports, or now, for that matter, the COVID frontline workers who are keeping their hair covered, or people who go out, they work out every day, they will have lot of sweat, and it's important to take out that sweat. And for that, it's important to shampoo. Only thing is that shampoo using a very mild shampoo. It's not that you have to oil your hair every day. It's not necessary. If you want to, you can do it, but it's not necessary. But use a very mild shampoo to take off the unwanted salts and all from your hair, so that it's absolutely clean, especially for those who are using helmets and all. Otherwise, you'll see that the moment people start using helmet, they start losing the hair from the crown area. It's because of not washing the hair. If they wash their hair, keep their scalp clean, then the hair won't fall off. Of course, there's a little bit of friction that can be taken up with some good scalp mask, which has the hair growing property. I mean, using a few herbs, which helps to grow the hair. So it's very important for people, the frontline workers, to clean their hair every day and dry it. It has to be dry, because if the hair is wet, there's a tendency that you'll again catch a cold. So that is very, very important. So for the COVID warriors, the frontline workers, our daily cleansing of the hair is a MUST.
Thank you, ma'am. Next question from our YouTube viewer. Can you please tell us a home recipe for hair mask?
I told you the recipe for the hair mask. You can use besan, okay, chana dal. Chana dal is a good base. You need a base for holding on to the hair. And then you can use herbs like mint in it. You can use herbs like neem in it. Okay, neem is very little quantity, because more neem means it becomes very strong. And you can use grass in it. If you get good quality of grass, good quality grass is very good for hair growth. And you can use rosemary. Rosemary is very good for infection control as well as hair growth. It helps in both. So in case you do not know if your scalp has infection, you can take about 4 or 5 leaves of rosemary and add it to the oil. And you can also use two more substances, two more seeds, which are very good for hair growth. One is your mustard seed, the other is fenugreek or methi. You can crush them and mix them in your oil and keep them like that. They are very good for hair growth, both of them. But always remember one thing, it is very important that whatever you are doing at home, you do not add a lot of quantities thinking that a lot means it's going to do well. No, formulation is, as I was telling you yesterday about the cooking part, I mean, each and every herb, each and every spice is added in moderation as per the requirement. The same thing you have to do for your hair, for your face, for your body, that you do not use a lot of everything. You use a proper base, and then in that base, you use a little bit of the herbs so that it's in moderation and you are not giving anything extra, because anything extra is actually poison. The body does not accept it. It will just throw it out. It will take it as a poison. Or the body will get so much used to it that if you don't give it, it won't accept anything else. So all these herbs, they help a lot in hair growth. You can use mustard seeds. You can use fenugreek seeds. And one more, the nigella, the black onion seeds. They're also very good for new hair growth. You can use all of them. Don't use a little bit of mustard, a little bit of fenugreek, a little bit of nigella. Please don't do that. Use just one of the seeds, because all the seeds are extremely strong. Imagine that a single seed, if you take a single seed, that seed grows into a plant. It's called the endosperm. From that, the entire tree comes out. So, and you keep it, you take a seed of a pulse, keep it for 10 years, it's dry, it doesn't get anything. After 10 years, again you put water, soak it, and it grows into a new tree. So, can you imagine the potency or power of a seed? Do not overlook it. So, either use nigella or use fenugreek or use mustard seed with a few herbs and then apply it for making the mask. So, all the small things, they are very important. Keep it in mind before you do something on your own when you go for a DIY.
Ma'am, one thing, the grass, no, Durba grass that is used in Ganapati
Durba grass, we
temples,
call it as
Ganesha
Durba.
temples,
Yeah,
no?
yeah, exactly. You see, they're soft
Okay.
grasses. They are not fully grown. They'll have three, this thing. That is actually the apex, the topmost part. And all the concentration of, I mean, that is from where they grow. So the concentration of the flavonoids and the terpenoids and all, I mean, the main chemicals of the plant would be there. So you have to take those three parts, break those three parts and use it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Ash.
Ma'am, it depends upon the hair conditions like dry hair, normal hair, as well as mixed combination hair, no? So
No, there is no
it may
combination
depend.
here. We don't
Okay,
get
only
combination
skin.
here. We get a combination skin,
Skin,
but we don't get combination here. Yeah.
oily and dry only. Okay.
Oily, dry, yes.
Okay, depend upon that, we can mix up. Depend upon the
It is
hair.
always on the basic thing. See, I'll tell you, this is, I'll just give you the basic difference here. I think this works well for the skin as well as for the scalp. So I'll just tell you the difference, because most of the people get confused here. Is the difference between hydration and the difference between oiliness. Okay, I told you about sebum. Okay, sebum actually, sebum is not used for hydration. In general, hydra means water. Okay, hydra is water. I'll make it simpler. I'll just give you the example of an apple. You take an apple, a juicy apple. How does it look like? You will see that it looks very juicy when you see a good apple. And you'll see a shine on the top part. If you see the skin of the apple, it'll have a shine, a sheen on it. That sheen is actually the lipid or the oil part. That is for protection. that holds the water inside. Okay? It is not the hydration. It actually holds the apple like this so that it looks more juicy. You keep that apple out for 3-4 days. Do not keep it in the fridge. In the summer season, keep it out for 3-4 days. After 3-4 days, you'll see the apple, you won't feel like eating it. Why? Because the skin would be shrunk, isn't it? It'll have small wrinkles, age lines on the apple, isn't it? Why? Because the hydration or the water content of the apple is gone. So I told you yesterday that 70% of our body is water. And unless this water is there, the body won't be hydrated, the skin won't be tight. The skin, it's very important to keep the skin tight. If you want no wrinkles, anti-aging and all this, first thing you have to do is hydrate your skin. Okay? And second is that the hydration will lose first and then the oiliness or the lipid layer, which is the sebum. Okay? The sebum is going to, it's a layer of oil. Lipid is fat. It's a layer of oil. It is going to protect your skin, your scalp from drying up. But first, if it has to be hydrated, and then only the oiliness will protect it. If it is not hydrated, the oiliness will actually start giving out more oil, thinking that, okay, the skin needs more oil. So when we talk of dry hair or when we talk of dry skin, I mean, the first important thing we have to do is hydrate our skin, hydrate our body internally as well as externally. Just internal hydration is not enough, and external hydration has to be given. Why? Because nowadays, with the amount of pollution, the external hydration, the sebum goes on getting depleted. It goes on going out. And that is the reason the water comes out of our body very fast. The skin becomes dry and the lines, wrinkles, and all come. So if we want our hair to be healthy, we have to ensure two things. The scalp should be hydrated and the scalp should have a layer of oil which maintains the pH. Not too oily, and not too dry. If it is too oily, then you'll have an oily scalp, small eruptions and all. If it is too dry, the hair will have baby hair, small baby hair, frizzy hair. You'll have all things coming out from here and there. I never use conditioner on my hair, never ever. I shampoo every day. But can you see baby hairs on my hair? And I'm too lazy to comb my hair. I comb it only once at night before going to sleep. So, but yes, I see to it that my scalp is absolutely clean. So why I'm saying this is that you have to understand that first thing, most important thing, take care of your scalp. Your hair will follow. It'll come out and it'll come out healthy, trust me. The hair would be healthy by default. Okay, so the hair, we can control the dryness of the hair, the frizziness of the hair when the scalp is hydrated and it has a normal sebum and the follicles are clean. The sebum would come out naturally when the follicles are clean.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Are you clear with the hydration part and the
Yes,
oiliness, the sebum part?
Yes, ma'am.
Just remember the apple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any more questions?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
One more question from our teammate.
Okay, ma'am. So next question we have is, can we use roasted coffee beans powder and spirulina.
Coffee beans and spirulina, you said, am I correct? Did I hear you correctly?
Yes, ma'am. You have
Yeah.
here.
What do you want to use it for? And coffee beans powder means you are using the coffee beans after the extraction of the coffee. I mean, after you make your filter coffee, whatever is left, you want to use that?
Robust variants.
Sorry?
Robust variant.
The variant can be Arabica, Robusta. I'm not talking about the variant of the coffee. Okay. I'm asking you whether you are talking about the coffee beans powder after you make coffee or before you extract the coffee out of it.
Before the coffee.
That means you are taking the beans and then roasting it and you want to use it.
Yeah.
Why you want to use it? For what purpose? Then I'll give you the answer.
Either ways, actually, this is one of our YouTubers' question. They have asked us. So
This
I
is
am
for the hair mask. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Dipankar has just said that it is for hair mask. This is before the extraction of coffee.
See, for hair mask, you can use it. But let me tell you, coffee powder before the extraction of coffee is a strong one. If you want to use it as a hair mask, it will be giving you, it will be actually more beneficial if you use it as a coloring mask rather than as a hair mask. And if you want to use it as a hair mask as a base instead of chana dal and all, it will be after you take your coffee, like you make the filter coffee, the remains that are those are there, that you can use it as a base for your hair mask. Okay. And spirulina is, of course, extremely good because spirulina is around 78 to 80% of protein. Okay, it's an algae. You know what is spirulina? Any of you can tell me what is spirulina other than it being an algae? You see it every day. And especially people in Kerala see it every day. I'm sure about it. You must have seen wherever like you have the tube wells and all, the hand pumps, or wherever you have in old houses, wherever you had the water taps and all, you see a green moss forming near the wells, near the water bodies and all, a fine soft green moss forming. Whenever it rains and all, there'll be a green moss in old houses and all. That's an algae. Algae is also a pathogen. It's a small plant, of course, bigger than a virus and bacteria because we can see them. Not all algae are that big, but this spirulina is an algae, and that is spirulina. The one that grows on the soil, the green part, each one of you sees it. Of course, nowadays we don't see it because of the cement houses. It grows on cement also, but mainly on bricks and all, wherever there is a lot of water accumulation. So that is spirulina. It is 78% protein. It's very good for hair. But again, this is where the DIY, why it fails, I'll tell you. The thing is that I have seen many people using 3-4 eggs on their hair every week, or at least 2 eggs on their hair every week. Our hair is made of protein. Egg has a lot of protein. Spirulina has a lot of protein. Okay? So you need to know how much of protein is to be added to your hair. If you add too much of spirulina or too much of egg on your hair, you'll see your hair will start becoming dry. If you want to use egg on your hair, use 2 eggs once in 15 days. That much of nourishment is enough, that much of protein is enough for your hair. You don't need extra nourishment. Keep your scalp clean. The other nourishment will come from the food we are taking. So that is something, when you use spirulina, maybe if you take around 100 grams of coffee bean extract, you can add about 1 teaspoon of spirulina, small teaspoon of spirulina in it, and use it maybe once in 15 days, not twice, weekly, as I told you. Otherwise, it will be doing more harm to your hair than actually doing it good.
Thank you, Ms. Maushmi. I think that answers the question of the viewer. Can I ask you one question that we have got from one of our male audience members?
Mhm.
It's about caring for the beard.
Okay.
So when you're talking about hair care, I think this is also one topic that we can touch
It is
about,
very
right?
important.
Okay, so I'll just read out the question. He says having a beard is in trend these days, but it interferes with the usage of masks. I think because it doesn't tightly fit on the face because of the hair, and also it causes repeated self-touching because you're always adjusting the mask because it is loose on your face. So he's asking, should male health workers and essential service workers who are regularly using the mask, should they go for a complete shave or closely trimmed beard? What do you suggest?
Okay. First of all, I'll just start with a joke because my friends, all my male friends, they tell me that only thing that nowadays we can say that women cannot have is a beard. So otherwise, women can do anything that men can do. Men do. Only thing you won't do is growing a beard or a mush. Women won't do that. Otherwise, you'll do everything. You can clean shave your scalp and go out like that. Only thing, this is only thing we are sure that this is very, very manly. This defines a man. So why I said it is that because it is true that women have been, parallelly working with men in all fields, doing everything. But this is some part, women, they do not look good with the beard or the facial hair. And for men, it's a matter of pride. So, if you ask the healthcare workers to shave off the beard, yes, it is good. And as you correctly said, while putting on the mask, and especially people who have a bit longer beard, it becomes very difficult to actually cover the beard properly. Okay. And that is the reason, like if they are clean shaved, it's the best. But if they don't want to shave their beard, okay, and they want to wear the mask, the best thing they can do is that just like they do it in the amongst the sick people, you can tie a cotton handkerchief or a cotton cloth around, a matching cotton cloth around, so that it doesn't come out. Just around the beard area, around the ears, and then wear the mask on top of it. This is actually going to let the beard be a beard also, because beard is also hair. Okay. And if it is let loose, it can attract dust, it can attract pathogens from the air. So if it is covered with a clean cloth, the way the Sikhs and all, they put the beard inside and just keep it tight, if it can be done. And then on top of that, if they wear mask, because they don't like shaving off the beard unless they don't have any other choice. So that would be the best thing to do, because cotton is porous. Okay, it will let the beard breathe. Of course, not normally the way we do without a covering, but of course, better than just putting a mask and just touching it. Because what happens as people, they go on sweating, it goes inside the beard and it irritates. So if the cotton cloth is there, it will go on absorbing that too, and that will help. And the next thing they can do is that, which is very good for, especially for beard care, because you're talking about beard, I'm telling you, in a glass of water, they can take a little bit of alum. Alum, it's called fitkiri in local language. They can take a little bit of alum. It's also used for purifying water. And after going back home, after taking the bath and all, but beard, whosoever has a beard, they can do it on daily basis too, for beard care, for grooming the beard. And as a last rinse, they can just take that alum water in a glass and wash their beard with that. Most of the infection in the beard, small, if there are small infections growing, they will go off. It's a very easy DIY. But for all the things, we don't have such easy DIYs. But if there are some easy ones, I'll go on telling you all, so that everybody can follow it naturally. So this will keep the beard healthy. as well as infection free, unless they're badly infected. But if they do it on daily basis, it will be infection free throughout.
Thank you, Miss Moshmi. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a really easy DIY to take care of, maintain beard, because as you said rightly, they don't like to shave off their beard if they have an option.
Yeah, given a
Very
choice,
true.
they won't
Yeah.
unless they have no other option.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is very easy, and covering it with a cotton
is okay.
cloth and just wearing the mask on top of it would be a good choice.
Okay. All right.
And that will actually give business to so many people. Imagine for all the beard, they'll have a beard cover now. So it's a new business idea too.
Yeah, new business idea. Great.
Yeah, just like the new mask. Now you get such fancy
Yeah.
mask. So it will be a new business
Entrepreneurs, please listen up. There is a new business idea.
Yes, we can start with the beard covers.
Let me go on to one more question I have. This question, in fact, is from my teenage daughter. She is 17 years old, and she happens to have very, very thick hair, which is shoulder length. So, her problem is that she leaves her hair open while she sleeps at night. And then when she wakes up in the morning, she feels pain in her in the roots. So it's that sometimes it is so bad that she gets headache in the morning because of the pain. So is it because of lying down in one position and that causes pressure on the roots? Is it because of that? Because
what do you mean by lying down in one position?
Like she sleeps on her side, so maybe it is
we should
because
be sleeping only on our side.
Okay.
I mean, the best position to sleep is on the right side. We should be changing between the right and the left. The right is the best position, and especially while getting up in the morning, we should actually turn to our right side so that our bowels are clean. And if you do that on an everyday basis, you just turn to your right, sleep for about a few seconds, then you get up. You'll get up and you'll just immediately, your bowels should be absolutely clean.
Wow. Okay, that is
that
new
will keep
information.
your skin clean.
Okay, that's a new information. Noted that. The reason I'm asking about the position is that sometimes it also happens when she goes to school tying up her hair in a tight ponytail because of school uniform rules.
Yeah, the bun problem again same happens.
Bun problem again. So after coming back from school, she leaves it open, and again there is this huge pain.
Does she have the pain on the front part?
No,
or on the back part?
It's
here on this part,
in the middle part. Yeah.
Okay.
So
this is a very common problem, let me tell you. Okay, this is a very common problem, but this is the starting of dandruff. Okay, the scalp infection. Why I'm giving you my example, because till date I never tie my hair. Always keep it open even while sleeping. Okay, I don't like tying my hair. So unless, just like the beard people, unless I don't have a choice where I have to tie and go, I'm not allowed to keep it open. Those are the only times when I tie my hair. So many people say, this is again a myth or a misconception, that if you don't tie your hair while sleeping, your hair breaks because of rubbing against the pillows, or you have the problem with your hair roots. See, of course, because of the friction, the hair might break a bit, but most of the people now, especially in the metros and towns and all, we use very soft bed and we use very soft pillows. So the chances of breakage is very, very minimal. Okay, number one. Unless the pillows in olden days where the cloth used to be very hard and all, there was a chance of breakage. Now it does not happen. And number two is that the scalp, the hair is in, if you are pulling like this, I'm pulling hard, my scalp, it's hurting because I'm pulling my hair, but I do not have a pain on the follicles because my follicles are clean. The moment you have, while combing, if your follicles pain or at some part you have pain, that means the follicles are in those places are damaged. So the first thing you start doing is start making a mask and use any mask that you want. Just you can make with basin and marigold leaves. You must be having marigold. And now it's summer. You and Kerala, you have a lot of mango leaves. And this is the best time to use the mango leaves. Why? Because mango leaves has a lot of vitamin C and vitamin K. Okay, make any mask, boil mango leaves in water and use that water to mix the mask and apply it on the scalp, especially for your younger daughter because she's small now. If you start doing it now, through her lifetime, she'll never have a problem. Her scalp would be clean. When people grow old, then if they ask for a DIY, it doesn't work. But when they're young, at this age, if they start doing it, they're cured for their lifetime. So use a mask and apply it for her once a week would be enough. But you said she has very thick hair, so use it twice a
Yes.
week now.
Yeah.
Okay, and you will see within 2 to 3 applications, most of the pain is gone.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll definitely
and
try.
yeah, and secondly, the other problem is when people they backcomb like this. Okay, this is not a normal way a hair should be combed. Okay, when people backcomb and tied very tightly, then there is a chance that you get a pain here. Otherwise, the pain in any other part, or if you are tying a bun for a very long time, then if you are getting a pain, that too, the moment you open your hair, within 15 to 20 minutes, the pain would be gone. Then it's absolutely normal because the hair was tied in a very wrong manner. Otherwise, as you said, that when she gets up in the morning, when she comes back, the follicles have just started getting infected. So that is the reason they're now complaining. You take care, and within a few days, you'll start seeing the difference. The pain would be gone.
Okay. I'll definitely try that and let you know.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Lakshmi, I think we have some more questions from our participants in the Zoom
Yeah.
meeting itself.
Okay.
Aditi,
You can
ma'am.
go ahead.
Yeah,
Aditi?
Aditi.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Hmm.
My dad has bald patches on his scalp and receding
Okay.
hairlines. Are there
Okay.
any natural oils or remedies to boost his hair growth? He is in his 50s.
I think I give the answer just while I was answering Deepa. Because now he's in his 50s, it's very difficult to go for DIY and get the hair back. Unless he follows the regime of cleansing his scalp every day, he will get back his hair, even on a receding hairline. If he just goes on using the scalp mask, he'll start getting back his hair. Okay, and you all are in Kerala, you are blessed with good coconut oil. And coconut oil is the best oil. Nothing can surpass coconut oil for hair because it's very high in lauric acid. Okay, and it's very easily absorbed by our hair. Human hair is such that it absorbs, it's light. It absorbs the coconut oil very well because of its molecular structure and all, the molecular structure of lauric acid and all. It absorbs it very well. Okay, so please ask him to use the scalp mask twice a week because he already has a receding hairline. He's already in his 50s. So ask him to use a good scalp mask and with a lot of durba ghas, if you get that grass, okay? And what else? He's 50, you can use durba, you can use 2 to 3 neem leaves, and you can use fenugreek in that. Okay, and massage well with the fingertips. Okay, and massage if possible. Ask him to massage with a little bit of oil every day, and he should be getting some hair back. But at this age, had he been careful from the very beginning, then it becomes very easy to get back the hair. And what happens usually, people don't when they're when they're young, if they start taking care with natural products, trust me, anti-aging is not a problem. But once we get old, and I mean get old in the sense that our age is plus 40 plus 45, then we start taking care and thinking that we want to anti-age our hair or we want to anti-age our skin. It becomes a bit challenging. That time DIY doesn't work because you have to use the specific formulation as per the requirement of the skin and that part of the body. The requirement is like it becomes more therapeutic, it becomes more medicinal. And at a younger age, a bit of this side, that side, it does not make a difference. That's why when you asked me for the coffee, I asked you which part of the coffee. It's very important you know which one to use and for what and how much.
Ma'am, one more
Sorry,
question I have.
Aditi?
One more question I have.
Yeah.
Nowadays, we youngsters, while shampooing, we use something just like aloe vera gel or vodka or beer. So is it good?
While shampooing aloe vera gel and vodka, after shampooing, when do you use the aloe
No,
vera
not
gel or the
after.
vodka?
No, not after shampooing. In shampoo, mix it and then we use it. Either vodka, either aloe vera gel or beer. So is it good?
Beer is very good for hair. Beer is molasses. It's fermented. Any fermented matter, you will you will see that whether you use flaxseed or you use fenugreek, whatever you're using for your hair, it's slimy. Even hibiscus leaf is very good. I forgot to tell you about that. Hibiscus leaves are very good. Its hibiscus flowers are very good. They're slimy in structure.
In fact, that is a traditional medicine that we use in Kerala.
Yeah.
Hibiscus leaves and flowers together are boiled in water till it becomes that slimy liquid, and then
Slimy.
that is applied on. It's called
Yeah.
tali in Malayalam. Yeah.
Yeah, it's for hair growth and mainly more than hair growth, hibiscus is actually very good to keep your scalp dandruff free. It does not let the fungus grow. It maintains the pH. It maintains the, it's, I forgot about that. Hibiscus is very good for maintaining the pH of the scalp, especially hibiscus leaves. And that should be, it should be red hibiscus, not any hibiscus. And it should be the red hibiscus with the 5 or 6 petals, not the thick ones.
Okay.
That is the best hibiscus. So, sorry, Aditi, I forgot what you asked.
Sorry, ma'am.
You asked me something, yeah, about beer and vodka. So, beer is very good because it's molasses. Similarly, lady's finger is very good for hair. Okay, lady's finger is okra, bhindi. It's very good for softening the hair. You can make a pack of lady's finger too. It's not for hair growth. It's for maintaining the pH of the scalp. Okay, and you have turai, the ridge gourd. That is very good for hair growth.
And
turai, ridge gourd.
Ma'am, what about the kalonji seeds?
Kalonji, I told you, they're very good. They're good for hair growth.
Okay.
But in very limited quantity. Kalonji is a very strong seed.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
And vodka is not needed for your hair. You better drink it and enjoy rather than putting it on your hair. Okay. And
good one.
What else you said?
Beer.
Aloe vera gel.
Yeah.
You can apply it as a conditioner before you shampoo.
Okay.
With the shampoo, aloe vera gel is useless because it will be washed off with the shampoo. It won't have any effect. Aloe vera gel would be effective only when you apply it on your hair, on your scalp, and keep it for some time. It needs time for absorption. It needs at least 25 to 30 minutes for absorption. So if you just apply with the shampoo, it's useless. It's just a pad and it's not going to serve any purpose.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Another question, like nowadays, students, like teenagers having gray hairs. What is the remedy for it?
Gray hair, I'll tell you, the hair gets its color from a pigment called melanin. Okay, the melanin has melanocytes. These melanocytes are in our skin. It also gives us our color. You have seen a beautiful peacock? The peacock feathers are made of melanocytes. The peacock gets its beautiful feather because of melanocytes. These melanocytes are very, very important, and they are inside the hair bulb. Again, like the bulb is inside the follicles, a bit inside our follicles is the hair bulb, and there you have the melanocytes there. Okay, and they give the color to the hair. But because most of the challenges that people face is that when, like for expecting mothers, if the expecting mothers are not taking adequate care, sometimes it's not that they do it intentionally. Most of the time, they are not aware of the environmental pollutants, or they are not aware of the chemicals they are taking on everyday basis. Okay, and these pollutants have an effect on the embryo, the growing embryo. And slowly, like they might have a bit of problem with their hair. Nowadays, you'll see kids, small kids having allergies. 3-month-old kid, 4-month-old kid having skin allergy. It's because of these challenges. And that is the reason at RILQ, when I, as a founder of RILQ, the first thing I went for is that I wanted a teratogenicity test done. The teratogenicity safe, in all our products we write it's teratogenicity safe. That means it's absolutely safe for lactating and expecting mothers. Okay, so most of the personal care products, they leave an effect on our body. The mothers sometimes they do not have an option, they do not have the awareness or the choice, and they use it. And this has an effect. And the second biggest challenge is the water nowadays. It has a very high degree of mineral salts in it. And this mineral salts, they get deposited on the follicles. Our follicles are open. You think of openings. If there are openings, what will happen? They'll be blocked. You just take water and keep it in a bucket for 5-6 days. You'll see there'll be a lining around the bucket. It's because of the dissolved mineral salts. The same thing happens to our scalp. So that's why, again, I'll go on repeating the same thing. Cleanse your scalp. Let the mineral salt, because we cannot do anything about the water. We don't have an option to do anything about the water. But what is in our hand is to cleanse the scalp and let the hair grow properly. Use a conditioning mask on your scalp. And if the scalp is not clean, if this deposit happens, they'll start, the melanocytes they cannot come out. And if the melanin is not there, they cannot give the color to the hair. And actually, I mean, if you go technically a bit beyond, there are two types of melanin, the eumelanin and the pheomelanin. Sometimes what happens, the eumelanin gives the black color and the pheomelanin gives the reddish, that blonde sort of color. You will see many kids are born where they have some patches of light hair because the eumelanin cannot come out at all. So it's again because of the blocked follicles, hair follicles. And graying most of the time is an irreversible process. Unless, again, it can be reversed once the scalp from the very childhood, especially from the time they're small, and the cradle caps. You'll see the kids, they have small patches of dandruff sort of thing. They're called cradle caps on the scalp. If they're removed well, just scrubbed with a thin cotton cloth and removed on daily basis, and slowly the hair is allowed to grow normally, then they won't have this early graying problem. But most of the mothers nowadays, they are not aware of the cleansing of the scalp. They use very good shampoos, chemical shampoos to clean the hair, but they do not look after the scalp, and that's why the graying is a very, very common problem. And
In fact,
stopping, yeah.
Sorry, Ms. Moshmi, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
fact,
please
that
do.
is one of the YouTube viewers, Ms. Jasmina, had asked the same question, that her daughter was bald when she was born and has very scanty hair even now at age 30. So she wants to know, she's
How
almost
old is
bald
she?
on the
Sorry?
top, 30, 30.
30. So see,
Yeah,
now
so
she has already actually crossed quite a few years. But what she can do is now, at the age of 30, I cannot give her a DIY solution. Okay. Again, it's not that I'm promoting Milq, but just to make her aware, she can go for the Root Logic hair mask, which is for scanty hair, which she can use it unless she has, if she has a sticky dandruff, she should not start with Root Logic. If she does not, I do not know whether she has a sticky dandruff. If she does not have a sticky dandruff and if she has just scanty hair, nothing else, she should start with Root Logic. It has a mixture of herbs which will help in the growth of new hair. And it's again a scalp conditioning mask which she has to use twice a week. You can do one thing. You can get the details of Miss Jasmina from Deepa. You can get the details of her, and then we can later guide her a bit into this. And because we need a little more information on the hair condition, how long is the hair growing long, or it's just less in volume, or it's growing long. Sometimes what happens, the hair grows in length, but it does not grow in volume. Some people have hair growing in volume, but it does not grow in length. So this points too, we need to keep in account. And ask her to keep her scalp, the first thing, keep her scalp absolutely clean. She can start with the basin and the simple herbs I told you right now with Durva Ghas and all. She can start with that, whatever she has right now. And she'll start seeing the change.
thank you, Ms. Moshmi.
Yeah. I think we are done for today.
We do have one more question
Okay.
from Shubhashri.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me, Shubhashri.
Ma'am, the question is some health workers complain of hair loss due to working in stressful working environment. So how can we deal with this?
Okay, but if I get you correctly, it's working in stressful environment.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Stress is one of the biggest challenges of modern life. I'll tell you what happens when we are stressed. When we are stressed, we have a lot of negative hormones coming. Okay? And these hormones are nothing but chemicals. So when we are working in a stressful environment, the two things, the best things to do is to keep our mind cool. If we keep our mind cool, if we start thinking a bit positive, because when there is a stress, no matter how much we think in the negative manner, we cannot actually control it. The best thing to do is look for a solution, or when we are in a very stressful environment, just get out of that place, let the mind cool down, and look for a viable solution, and then you come back. Okay. And of course, now, like during this COVID, there's so many people, your near and dear ones are dying, passing away, and all. So, in this environment like this, what we can do is only the best thing we can do is create more awareness. You cannot go in that situation and start saying, oh, I want to take care of my mom, I want to take care of my dad. If you do, I'm just giving an example. What happens if, or I want to take care of my relative or my friend, then what happens? You are not only playing with your life, you are playing with the life of all those people who are around you, creating more stress. So what we need to do whenever we are in a stressful environment, just try to look for a solution or get out of that place. And in the work situation, whenever we have such negative things happening, I mean, the best thing we can do is come back home and give your hair a very good oil massage. A good oil massage, a little, just warm up the oil a little bit, and then just massage your hair very well. And if possible, take a good head bath. You might not shampoo, but use water to just cleanse and detox your body. Water is actually a very good coolant, a natural hydrating agent, a natural coolant, and it will take off the stress and tension. And if you do that, and if you, I mean, if need be, on everyday basis, you can massage your hair with oil, and in the morning you can shampoo your hair. This way, you will be maintaining a healthy hair because we have a lot of microbes, a lot of particles in the hair, in the air, sorry, and that actually affects the quality of our hair. And the moment we do it, even in a stressed condition, if we come and oil our hair and then take a bath, we'll be able to think rationally and give it a better solution. And we'll also dispel such problems like if you are stressed, you get a headache. If you get a headache, you are irritated and the entire day is spoiled. Even all those problems would be gone off. So a good oil massage for your face, for your scalp, and especially the back part. I mean, when you are having a headache or you are stressed, the back part, where the spinal cord gets connected to the brain, the medulla part, you'll find that this is a place here at the back where there's a bit of dent like this. If you touch, you can feel that part. From your, if you see your cranium from here, you'll see that there's a dent. Just lightly massage that part with oil. A lot of stress would go off from there. Because then from there, it goes to our backbone and it actually passes through the central nervous system, creating more stress, more challenges. And the body again starts giving out all the negative hormones and all the chemicals, which we don't want. So a good oil massage is a good solution.
Thank you, ma'am. Another question is that how do we know the deficiency of vitamins?
How do we know the deficiency of vitamins? The only way you can actually test it out is through the blood test report.
Okay, so only blood
And
test.
like for deficiency of vitamin D, you can know it very well because you start getting pains in the bones and all. It's very well connected to the calcium and all. If you have problem, even at a younger age, I've seen people, they're not able to sit down or get up at once. If I ask them to sit down and get up, they're like, oh no, I can't do that. So, I mean, they find it difficult to bend their knees and sit down and again get up. So that means they are having a deficiency of vitamin D. And this has become a very, very common problem. You'll see even the hair and all, when there's a deficiency of vitamin D, the hair won't be healthy, the skin won't be healthy. Vitamin C and vitamin D, they are very, very important. Vitamin C, because it's a water-soluble vitamin, it cannot be stored by the body. Vitamin D can be stored, but vitamin C cannot be stored, so it has to be taken on daily basis. And the healing will take a long time if you have less of vitamin C in your body. But the best results, the diagnostic result, you can get it only by blood test.
Any more test, like a specific test is there?
No, for each vitamin, you have a separate test. You have to go for a pathological test. I mean, the doctor would be suggesting whether you need to go for a test of vitamin B or vitamin C or vitamin D, depending on the challenges you're having. There's no DIY for this. No playing with the vitamins. They're all chemicals minded. The only thing is that we can take enough of it every day, go out in the sun for 20 minutes, let your body enjoy the sun and take all the vitamin D. That is free, does not cost any money, and gives a lot of benefit to your body, your skin and hair.
Okay. So can you give some details about the food habits we have to maintain throughout our as a daily basis for our hair growth?
Okay. And I think that should be the last question because I forgot I had another session from 8:30 and it's already 8:46. Anyway, I'll just message them. So the daily food habits is what I again go on repeating is all about a balanced diet. A balanced diet means proteins, vitamins, minerals, a lot of water. A lot of water means the water that is needed as per your body weight. And good, you asked me one question because this is what I have been seeing everywhere. I don't know people, how do they get it? They say, do not take oils. It's very bad. You know, a brain is composed of fat cells. If we don't take oils, if we totally stop taking oils in totality, our brain would stop functioning and there won't be any production of sebum. Your skin will start becoming dry, your base skin will start becoming wrinkled, and there'll be a lot of other allergic problems. So a healthy diet, as per me, is you eat everything that was traditionally done. Like in the morning, many people say that I should not be taking rice. I should only take this much of rice and I should be only taking this much of wheat. And you'll see that if you don't eat properly, you'll be hungry. If you are hungry, you'll start getting a headache. You eat and you sweat it out. It's not that you have to eat a lot, but eat in required quantities. Every body is different and the requirement of the body is different. And what you can do is that, especially people like who has a lactose allergy, the milk allergy, they cannot take any dairy product and all. For them, they can take a lot of uh, like what do you call the poha? Mm, that is flattened rice. If you can get those handmade flattened rice, they are rich in iron. So they can have those pohas a lot. That actually gives you, it fulfills it. It is filling because it's carbohydrate. And it is also good for your body to compensate for the calcium loss, which you're not getting from your milk. And in the morning, the first thing you should do in the morning is that have a little bit of warm water so that your digestion is proper. Start taking 2 glasses of warm water in the morning. Initially, if you're not able to take 2 glasses, start with 1 glass and then slowly go on increasing the amount. And around 8:39, have your breakfast. The breakfast can be anything, idli, dosa, whatever you like, upma, whatever you like, or chapati, paratha, whatever you have. It's when you are having idlis for your body weight, you can have 2 to 3 idlis. That is enough, not 7 or 8. Then we start putting on weight because that is not something our body needs. If you're having a chapati, have 2 chapatis, a bowl full of vegetables, maybe a fruit, an apple or something. And whenever you are taking fruits, do not take fruits after 6 o'clock in the evening. It's not suggested. The best time to have fruits is around 11 in the morning or around 4 in the evening. Because a fruit is fruit acid. And our stomach already produces acid. So you have to have it at a time when your stomach is not empty, otherwise you'll have gastric problems. And have a normal, in between, if you feel a bit hungry, around 11 o'clock, you can have an apple or a banana. And again, around 1:32, have your normal rice, dal, sabji. If you're having non-veg, have your protein there. Or if you're not having non-veg, have a lot of rajma or any other form of proteins. It can be rajma bean, it can be chole, it can be any other sort of protein. And do not forget to have your cellulose. Cellulose means a lot of greens. It's very, very important. So whether it's spinach, whether it's methi, whether it's I mean, there's so many greens. But I mean, all. Don't forget the cellulose from your daily diet. And in the evening around 4:30, you can have your tea and a little bit of snacking. You can do the snacking with poha or something like that. Okay, there you do not eat a heavy meal because as you come towards the later part of the day, you naturally your quantity of meal should come down. And by 7:38, you can have your dinner. And after dinner, the maximum thing you can have is like I was just having a glass of juice. This is nothing but this is green tea with lots of your um, lemon and mint and all this. Okay, because I don't have a late dinner. I have a very early dinner. So one thing is that try to have your dinner by 7:38. And the next meal can be around again 8:39 in the morning. Give your stomach a rest, a gap. 12 to 14 hours during the daytime, eat properly. Then about 14 hours, you let your stomach rest well. If you need, have light juices. I mean, not fruit juices. You can have maybe a bit of green tea, or you can have a little bit of coffee, cold coffee or something. And that's it. And at night, nothing. Let your stomach rest. So that is the best food you can give to your body and skin.
Thank you so much, Ms. Maushmi. Sorry that we are running late. I just wanted to tell you one small thing before we wrap up. We had discussed Ms. Jasmina's questions before, right? So she has given some additional information about her daughter's hair health. Shall I read it out for you?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay. She says the problem is very less volume. When she was born, she was completely bald. She didn't have a single hair on her head. Even now, when she's 30 years old, when her hair is plaited, it is thinner than the little finger. It's like a twine thread. So that is the problem that she's facing. So would you like
Can
to?
she see the scalp? I mean, the scalp is shiny. How is the scalp condition? If like if you see the scalp condition, you will see some follicles, like you can see the hair follicles here. So if you can see the hair follicles or there are no hair follicles, I want to know that whether the follicles are closed or the follicles are still open. I mean, as if there's some eruption sort of thing is there.
Okay. I'll wait for her to respond to that. Should I ask her to contact you maybe for a deeper consultation?
You just take her details and you can just pass on the
I'll message
information
it.
later if need be. I'll contact
Yeah,
her.
I'll do that. So that is all
Yeah,
from
because
my
I
side.
would be needing her photograph anyway
Okay. All right.
to actually have a very good idea about exactly how it is.
Okay. Lakshmi, you can go ahead and wrap it up.
Okay, I hope you all enjoyed the session. For more videos, please subscribe our channel. Don't forget to press bell icon for new notifications. Do like and share videos. Are you a women entrepreneur? Would you like to sell our products at parcel? So mail us info@pracol.com. You can call or WhatsApp chat with us 90720 77791 to connect with us on Facebook www.facebook.com/pracol. For more details about us, www.prayana.org. For sponsorships or advertisements or memberships, join prayana@gmail.com. On behalf of Prayana, I would like to thank you for giving us your valuable time and inputs. I thank all viewers for active participation. Thanks for our technical team for Future Talks making another wonderful session. Wishing you have a wonderful evening, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Maushmi.
Thank you.
Wonderfully.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, please do come back for more sessions. I think we have a lot of viewers who are still interested to know more about skincare, and I think we also have to take up questions on body care as well, right? So
Yeah.
I hope you come back soon with another fun and interactive session soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I love to answer this question because my main intention is to create awareness. People are not aware, and that is where I feel really sorry because I suffered. There was a time when I suffered and I did not know what was the solution. So I don't want other people to suffer.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Bye.
ma'am.
Have a
Bye-bye.
great evening. Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.